Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. We recently had the opportunity to take an amazing cruise around the Western Mediterranean on one of NCL's largest ships, the Norwegian Escape. Weighing in at a whopping 165,000 tons, and with an ability to hold over 4,200 guests, this ship is fourth in size and first in number of passengers it can hold in NCL's fleet. You will see in our video that we actually thought it held its passengers quite well. Now that we've talked a little bit about this ship, let's take a tour through all of the various venues on board, starting all the way down in Deck 5. This is the home of Splash Academy, the kids club for ages 3 through 12 that you can find on all of NCL's ships. Other than that, Deck 6 is where the real fun begins. Starting in the aft of Deck 6, you'll find this very interesting wall of awards and certificates. Cruise ships like the Escape earn these certificates for the first time it docks in certain cities. There were quite a few on this wall. Moving forward on the ship, you'll run into the first of many bars, Mixx. This is a relatively small bar that serves as a center point for the two main dining rooms in this space. On the starboard side of the ship is Taste Restaurant. This is a complimentary restaurant that serves, as said before, as one of the ship's three main dining rooms. This complimentary space is very cozy compared to the main dining room one deck up, and there's even a private dining room that larger parties can employ. On the port side of the ship in this area is Savor Restaurant, which is pretty much a carbon copy of Taste. Savor is the second of three complimentary main dining rooms on board, and again serves as a cozy, contemporary space for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. The menus in all three dining rooms, while they change each day, are always the same as each other, so if you can't find room here in Savor for dinner, you can always walk through the Mixx Bar and find the same food on the other side. Moving forward on Deck 6, you'll come to the center atrium of the ship. The center atrium is called the Courtyard, and it's open up to Decks 7 and 8, making it a very beautiful space. This small courtyard also features this massive and beautiful chandelier, which changes colors throughout the day and really brightens up the space. On the starboard side of the courtyard, you'll find the entrance to Teppanyaki, the hibachi-style Japanese restaurant. This is an extra pay specialty restaurant, so there is a cover charge that applies if you choose to go here. We can say from experience that the chefs always make it a fun time here, and the food is really fantastic. Right next to Teppanyaki is another extra pay restaurant, Le Bistro. Le Bistro is a French restaurant that serves French food in a very stylish and Parisian setting. On the Escape, there is also a patio section that's meant to look like the many dining areas that you might find on the streets and corners throughout Paris. It's an elegant space, and again we can say from experience that the food here is very good. Across the courtyard from Le Bistro and Teppanyaki is a different type of venue, the Headliners Comedy Club. Headliners is a relatively small space with ample seating, a bar, and a stage where they host several comedians and shows here. One of the headline shows is Howl at the Moon, the dueling piano show that you might see throughout the US in many major cities. This is an awesome show that the cruise puts on a few times a week. These shows last for up to 4 hours as long as song requests keep coming in. It's a really fun time, and we can strongly recommend attending one of these Howl at the Moon shows. Moving again towards the forward section of the ship, you'll walk through the art gallery, which features several works of art that are on sale. There's also several art auctions hosted here each day. From here, you burst out into the main atrium. This atrium features a full-size cafe and bar, including a Starbucks coffee area, which you can purchase for an extra charge. There's also a large screen and several seats here. This part of the atrium is used to host several informational panels, games, and other activities throughout the cruise. On the other side of the atrium, you'll find guest services and the shore excursion desk. Right next to here is also the Internet Cafe, which allows you to go online on the computers here or to get help from the crew for connecting your Wi-Fi on the ship. Right next to the atrium is a small hallway where you can find several meeting rooms, a card room, and a library. There are actually several books in this library, and it's open for most of the day. It's a nice place to get away from the hustle and bustle on the ship, and if you want to have an event or meeting while you're out on your cruise, you can always rent the meeting rooms out. Heading further forward on Deck 6, you'll run into another unique venue that you can only find on the NCL Escape, the Supper Club. The Supper Club is a venue that hosts dinner and a show several nights during the cruise. These cabaret-style shows tend to be hits with audiences, and the dinner that's served to you is a set dinner that gets served to everyone here, so you don't choose off a menu. You do have to pay extra for a ticket to this dinner and a show, and you need to make reservations beforehand. From this forward part of Deck 6, we can take a walk up the stairs to Deck 7, where we'll find ourselves at the box office and the Escape Theater. This theater is definitely not one of the larger NCL theaters, holding only 800 people, but it is a very modern and elegant space. It's the site of many panel discussions, game shows, and also the Broadway-style hit Choir of Man. We really only visited the Escape Theater once on our cruise, but we can say that the entertainment here was amazing, and the Choir of Man show is hilarious and always a good time. Moving towards the aft of Deck 7, through the elevator banks, you'll find yourselves at a cutout looking down at the atrium. This is where you'll find O'Sheehan's Neighborhood Bar and Grill. There are two sections to this venue. One is the restaurant. O'Sheehan's is open 24 hours a day for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and late-night bites, and it's a very comfortable pub-style space with pub-style food. We went here several times for breakfast and lunch, and we always found the food to be delicious. On the other side of the atrium is the bar and arcade section of O'Sheehan's. This section features several beers on taps and several games that you can play, including pool and even bowling. This tended to be where many of the late-night cruise guests would show up, so it was always a lively space on an evening. Walking further aft, you'll find the absolutely massive Escape Casino. This casino hosts several slot machines and table games, having nearly everything you would expect to find on a land-based casino. Throughout the cruise, there are also several tournaments that you can join here, including poker tournaments, as well as slot tournaments. We will give a warning here though that there is a fairly large smoking section in this casino, so if smoking bothers you, you might want to steer clear. Right next to the casino is the Skyline Bar and Lounge, a comfortable bar space with plenty of seating and entertainment every night. This space does say that it is for 18 and older guests, but we found that this wasn't really enforced. So if you're trying to get away from children on the cruise, this probably isn't the place to do it. Moving further aft again on Deck 7, you'll find yourself entering the Manhattan Room. This is the third of 3 complimentary main dining rooms on board, and it's a very large one. This is a modern and elegant space, with a large open area looking up to Deck 8, and some very large windows looking out the aft of the ship. There's also a small stage here where piano players and singers will serenade guests each evening. From the Manhattan Room, we can walk up the stairs to the aft section of Deck 8. Here you will find the entrance to 2 separate extra-pay specialty restaurants, Cagney's Steakhouse, an American-style steakhouse featuring several premium cuts of beef, mouth-watering sides, delicious seafood and amazing desserts, and the Moderno Churrascaria, a Brazilian steakhouse with a very large salad bar and slow-roasted meats carved right at your table. Between these 2 venues is the Prime Meridian Bar, which serves cocktails and is a great place for you to wait for your reservation at either Moderno or Cagney's. We really liked the compass decor on top of the Meridian Bar as well. It went very well with the name. For both of the restaurants here, you will also find outdoor seating, something that's not offered on many NCL ships. This outdoor seating is made possible by a section of the ship called the Waterfront, a promenade deck that wraps entirely around Deck 8. This promenade deck features seating for nearly every restaurant and venue on this deck, as well as other seating to allow guests to get some sun and enjoy the surf on sea days. There's even a little gelato bar and bake shop out here, which sells its goods for an extra cost. Moving forward from these restaurants, you'll find yourself in the main shopping area of the ship. This is the Tradewinds tax and duty-free area. There are several different shops here, including clothing shops, NCL branded shops, watch shops, jewelry shops, and everything in between. There's also a long hallway filled with counters and goods on display. If you check your Freestyle Daily, the shipboard planner that you get each day, you will often find coupons for FE jewelry, discounts, and deals for these shops on certain days of the cruise. Moving forward from all the shops, you'll find yourself on the upper floor of the courtyard that looks down 3 decks. On the starboard side of this courtyard, you'll see the Sugarcane Mojito Bar, a bar specializing, of course, on mojitos and several other types of drinks. This bar leads right into another extra pay specialty restaurant, the Bayamo by Ocean Blue. Bayamo features fresh seafood and an extensive wine list. Right next to this area is the Pincho Tapas Bar, another extra pay specialty dining venue. This venue is meant to capture the flavors of Spain in one of Spain's greatest exports of all time, tapas. Across this courtyard, you'll find another venue that is unique to this ship, the Cellars Wine Bar. This bar features several different types of wines that you can choose from, and it is all curated by a famed Napa Valley wine family, the Mandavis. In addition to going here on your own, you can also join several tastings that are hosted each cruise for an extra cost. As we continue forward on Deck 8, you'll find yourselves in a very nicely decorated bar called the Tobacco Road Liquor Bar. Tobacco Road is a throwback to one of the oldest and most legendary bars in Miami, Tobacco Road. Here you will find all sorts of Miami-centered memorabilia, as well as comfortable seating and specialty cocktails on offer. We found ourselves up here quite a bit. You can also find your way to the Humidor from here, which offers several different types of cigars for sale and also serves as a smoking room for cigar lovers. Once again, Tobacco Road also has access to the waterfront promenade, and there's even a bar out here and seating for you to enjoy your cocktails out in the sun. Directly across from Tobacco Road is an Italian extra pay specialty restaurant, La Cucina. This Italian restaurant features several authentic Italian favorites, including pastas, seafoods, and some amazing appetizers. This is a very cozy and quaint venue, and we really like the decor choices here. From here, we can go across the hall to another entertainment venue, Sid Norman's Poorhouse. Sid Norman's is a venue that makes rock and roll come to life. On the Escape, the venue is much more contemporary than the 25-cent show style venue that you might find on the Norwegian Prima. The Prima's venue is also under the name Sid Norman. You can also find the same exact show that you'll find on the Prima here on the Escape. This show is called Rumors, and as you might have guessed, the show features a Fleetwood Mac cover band singing through the entire Rumors album from start to finish, interjecting with band lore and stories about the band writing the album and facing some fairly difficult personal issues at the time. It was an amazing show, and we can definitely recommend it. From there, it might seem like our tour of Deck 8 is over, but if you go a little bit past the forward stairwell, you'll find 2 more venues that are, to be honest, somewhat hidden. On the starboard side of the ship is Food Republic, an Asian Latin fusion restaurant with a cuisine that's served tapas style, perfect for sharing in your group. This again is a specialty extra pay restaurant. On the port side of the ship, you'll find the District Brew House, a very industrial-looking bar with several seats, some amazing views out the side of the ship, and even some tabletop games that you can play while you sip on your beverages. Speaking of beverages, there are always 24 beers on tap and another nearly 50 bottled beers on offer in this venue. If you're not used to cruising, you should know that this is a very impressive beer selection for a cruise ship. When it comes to getting around the ship, there are a few different options that you have to find out where you're going. The Escape still has these plexiglass deck plans with all of the venues by venue type located on each floor near the elevators to assist you. Or you can find these digital display screens which are in certain areas of the ship for a much more technologically advanced navigation aid. From here you will find guest cabins on decks 9 through 15, so we will go all the way up to the forward part of deck 16, where we will come out into the Mandara Spa and Salon. Mandara is the signature brand of spa that you'll find on every NCL ship. In the spa section of Mandara, you can book yourselves one of hundreds of spa treatments, including massages, manicures, pedicures, facials, waxing treatments, and more. There is also a hair and beauty salon up here, where you can get a quick cut or completely change your look while you're out at sea. There's also a full-sized fitness center, which is open throughout the cruise and has several different types of machines and weights. If you're interested in treatments in the spa, we recommend that you check out your Freestyle Daily for spa specials. These will be offered every now and then on your cruise. You can also save some money by booking your treatment while the ship is in port. Almost all of these treatments are discounted at that time. Moving towards the aft from the spa, you'll find yourselves outside enjoying the beautiful sun on the pool deck. This deck actually has a very odd configuration, but it did seem to have ample seating for our cruise, and we were able to enjoy ourselves out in the sun quite a bit. There's also a very large area for children here, as well as several water slides, which you can access all the way up on deck 20 and plunge all the way down to decks 17 and 16. On the NCL Escape, you'll find 3 main swimming pools, as well as 9 jacuzzis and 5 water slides. In this area is also the Waves Pool Bar, which serves several poolside favorites. Moving further aft, you'll find the Marketplace, which is a small duty-free shop you can go to buy things you forgot at home, like sunglasses, towels, sunscreen, and more. Although it should go without saying, you can always save a boatload of money by purchasing these items before you get on the ship. Moving further aft, you'll find yourselves in the open-air part of Garden Cafe. The Garden Cafe is the very large buffet on this ship. This buffet spans the entire aft section of Deck 16, and it tends to be very crowded. Even though it tends to be very crowded, we were always able to find a seat each time we went here. There are several different types of food on offer in the buffet, and on certain days you'll find little specialties, like Mediterranean food, Italian food, Indian food, and Asian food. Overall, we found all of the food at the buffet to be very good. However, the cleanliness here was another story. You can check out our cruise series and our experience on the ship in the links down below to find out more about that. If you go exploring all the way aft on Deck 17, you will find the adults-only Spice H2O. Most NCL ships have a Spice H2O area, which is a pool deck and sun deck during the day, and something of a nightclub at night. This Spice H2O has plenty of seating, a large digital display screen, 2 hot tubs, and a bar. It also has this extremely odd water feature, which is aptly named the Grotto. Moving forward on Deck 17, you'll find the teen lounge called Entourage, which is meant to be a cool space for teens to hang out away from adults. This is right next to the video arcade, which is a small space but has lots of games and tons of entertainment for kids to enjoy. All of this is right across from another dining venue, the American Diner. American Diner is a complimentary restaurant that's covered but is out in the fresh air. This venue does have a full menu, different from those that you'll find in other parts of the ship. It is focused on an American diner-style cuisine, and we really enjoyed all the food that we had here, as well as the decor and open environment, which made it a very fun place to have lunch. The rest of this deck is made up of areas open to the pool deck below and this jogging track, which we honestly never saw used during our cruise. In the midship section of this deck is also where we found the second level of the Waves Pool Bar, and from here we were able to sit and get some amazing views out to the ports that we visited. During our cruise, we even saw the NCL Epic leave port. If you've ever been on the Epic, you'll notice that it bears a striking resemblance to the Escape. However, it seems that they worked out a few kinks in the last renovation of the Escape that are still on board the Epic, prompting many to call the NCL Epic the ugly stepsister to the Escape. Though it sounds mean, we can agree with that assessment. In the forward part of Deck 17 is the Haven, the private and luxurious suites that NCL offers to its esteemed guests, and by that we mean those willing to pay for the privilege. The Haven features its own pool, its own lounge, its own restaurant, its own spa, and a butler's service to all of its guests. If you want an elevated service on the ship, you should consider booking the Haven. Moving up to Deck 18, you'll find yourself on the sports part of the ship. In the aft, near the stack, is a massive 2-story ropes course that you can climb on. We were astonished by how huge this ropes course was. There's also a small zip line here, and even mini golf for everyone to enjoy. It would be a great place for families to hang out on sunny sea days. In the same part of the ship, going up one deck further, is the sports complex, with a dual soccer and basketball court, as well as a sun deck. Deck 20 is the highest you can get on this ship, and the only real thing here is the entrance point to all of the slides that make their way down to decks 16 and 17. There are so many restaurants and entertainment venues on this ship for adults, and there's quite a bit to do for the kids as well. We really enjoyed our cruise and checking out all of these venues in action as we sailed around the Mediterranean. Make sure to check out that cruise series where we cruise on the Escape around all of these Mediterranean ports by clicking on the links down below or by checking out our channel. You can also check out our channel for a room tour in our balcony cabin on board the NCL Escape. In this video, we'll also give a very short tour of one of the studio suites on board. We hope that this video was helpful, and we'll see you in the next one.